So what you do is, you select the doubtful questions. Once you attempt the previous year question, you mark the doubtful questions, specific questions wherein you were trapped, wherein you faced a doubt. You revisit, compare with the solution, and then understand. You gauge where you went wrong. That's a very common error students make. Students don't even understand what the options are all about. They can't read the language. They can't decipher the vocabulary. Hello students and welcome to the ADDA 24/7 platform. My name is Marut Sharma. I am your Quantitative Aptitude and Logical Reasoning faculty, and welcome to this wonderful channel for your dedicated CLAT preparation. And as you can see, it says right in front of you here that we have only 60 days to go and counting. Now 60 days is not a it's not a lot of time. So we need to strategize accordingly and plan in a very progressive manner as to how we'll go ahead planning our complete and revising the complete syllabus, attempting the questions, the mocks, and how do we giddy up, do we get ready for our final CLAT examination scheduled on 1st of December. So get ready all of you. Today's session is going to be an interesting one wherein I'll be starting and giving you a detailed strategy along with complete timetable for self-study as well, wherein you need to understand that how do you need to progress in logical reasoning and quantitative aptitude specifically. Okay, so I've got a 10-point action plan for you. This I'll not elongate the session a lot. I'll briefly tell you about everything and we'll be done with it so that even your time is taken care of. So we'll start right away. So the 10-point plan which I'm going to present in front of you includes some tips, some tricks which you need to have in mind when you are studying for the logical reasoning aspect, the passages, the critical reasoning aspect, awareness, arguments, right? So some tips and tricks, which you can keep in mind as of now as far as the strategy is concerned. Going forward, when I'll also be bringing in sessions for you wherein we'll be discussing all about the critical reasoning aspect and passages, and we'll be practicing a lot, right? So at that moment, I will also explain you some traps which are usually laid down by examiners for you and wherein it's too tempting to get into them. So we'll talk about that as well. We'll have another session for that. That is very interesting. And that can actually create a humongous difference in your preparation. So we need to be aware about that. So let's start with the 10-point plan here. The first and the foremost, the most important point, once you are done with your syllabus by now in the last 60 days is you have to practice your previous year questions or previous year papers. So you can do that in the form of mocks. Okay, so previous year questions or previous year papers in the form of mocks, and you can also add here, you can have to practice mock test. Practice as much as possible, right? So how you attempt a previous year paper or a previous year question set or a mock, let's say, you need to have the complete examination environment, because one of the primary reasons of why students fail in a competitive exam is they do not gauge the stress beforehand. They are ready with the syllabus, they are ready with the practice probably, but when they sit in that environment of an examination surrounded by people, that pressure, that stress, that environment itself causes a reaction and you just start losing it from their moment, and from that everything falls tumbling down. So you need to be very aware about this. So you need to be aware about the environment. So you need to recreate that, simulate that around you. Okay, be in a quiet place, normal place, sit down, time yourself, and accordingly practice your mock. And what after practicing mocks? Practicing mocks itself will not help you. Practicing the previous year questions itself will not help you, because it will only give you that what usually the examiner goes into which direction, right? But you will not understand anything unless you analyze it. Okay, so everybody, I think others might also have told this and stressed on this focus point here is that once you are done with your previous year question analysis, previous year question attempt or previous year paper attempt or your mock test attempt, you get a score, you get a result. After that, you have to revisit it and completely analyze it, thoroughly analyze it. So in the next 60 days, I have laid out a plan for you. I have chalked a good plan, and you will look at it and you will understand, and obviously you will cater it to your own needs, right? So you can customize that, but that is where everything lies. See, competitive exams are always cleared through revision. No matter how much you study, the syllabus is never going to be like, okay, now the syllabus is completely over for all the subjects. Now I can sit and relax and just practice. No, you have to start practicing your mocks towards the end. and it is all about analysis. So once you are done, you have to repeat, revise. Okay. And how do you revise? Obviously, you can't do the whole chunk again. So what you do is you select the doubtful questions. Once you attempt the previous year question, you mark the doubtful questions, specific questions wherein you were trapped, wherein you faced a doubt. You revisit, compare with the solution, and then understand. You gauge where you went wrong, so that that error is not reciprocated, not repeated in your final examination. You have to make a note of that. So that is why re-attempting doubtful questions is a very important aspect. Post that, once the mock part is done, you have to focus on some other tips and tricks as well. Speed reading. So I think by now, I think a major chunk of you have already covered this, and you are already at a pretty good speed of reading, but you can still read, you can still make it faster. So in the last 60 days, push your reading speeds even further. It might disrupt your preparation for a while, but you can definitely come out of it. But speed reading is absolutely important. So one of the tips which I always tell my students is to drop stop words. Whenever you are reading, see, this is not reading for leisure. You are not reading a novel to understand the story or to, get into the extreme depths of it. What you need to do is you need to understand that one passage, that 400, 500 words passage at a time. And you have to read that quickly, understand and solve the questions and move ahead. And there are 20 such passages for you. So how do you make it as fast as possible? You drop the stop words. Stop words like is, are, helping verbs, for, there, pronouns, thereafter, whenever, these words which are just, which can be used as fillers. Okay, if you drop them in the sense you stop reading them altogether. You just skip them in your mind. You just focus on the keywords. Okay, keep reading, keep focusing only on the keywords. There will be an image which will start creating in your brain, and you will be able to analyze and understand completely. You will be able to comprehend better that what exactly the passage is trying to talk about. So speed reading is an important aspect. Apart from that, how will this also develop is newspaper reading. Now, newspaper reading is a multifaceted, multifold beneficial object for you. Why? I'll tell you. Newspaper reading, see, I am talking about critical reasoning, I am talking about logical reasoning, I am talking about quantitative aptitude. Then how does newspaper reading help you? Newspaper reading helps you in all the subjects. Okay, you can get to know current legal affairs, you can get to know current affairs, you can get to know, you can practice English because the passages will come from there, the vocabulary, and you can practice reading for logical reasoning. Also, a lot of passages in logical reasoning come directly from the newspapers. You can often see the sources mentioned there as the Hindu or the Times of India, etc. Also Economic Times, right? So these newspaper readings can actually give you a lot of benefit as far as the CLAT preparation is concerned. So don't take that lightly. This, is a multi-fold approach. This will help you in other subjects as well. Okay. The next point is for quant specifically, if I tell you, you need to revise the formula and the short tricks. I will be sharing them with you in my sessions. I am bringing out shorts, on the YouTube channel. So do stay tuned and keep watching and liking all this stuff. I'm definitely sure you're going to enjoy all this. So we need to revise the formulae and the short tricks. You should be very quick in calculation, because see, I understand a lot of students feel that, okay, there is a very little section of quant and I think that does not hold importance. But guys, even a single question can be a make or break situation for you when you are attempting the CLAT, because one question, okay, a single question, a single mark can make the difference, right? So we need to be very careful. The 10 questions in quant, the 2 passages will hold a lot of importance. So you need to be thorough with that. At least those marks should be in your pocket. You need not lose that. So for that, you need to have a thorough understanding and a very quick response, because sometimes there is calculative stuff which you go in the conventional way, it's going to lead to a lot of calculation, right? So we need to revise the formula and the short tricks. Yes, this was what I was talking to you in the very beginning. You need to be aware of the traps, of the common errors which students make when they are attempting critical reasoning. Common errors, very common errors, blunders rather, I would say. By now, if you're still making them, it's okay. It's better late than never, right? So in the last 2 months, you need to focus on those mistakes. Try to be aware about those mistakes so that you stop committing them subconsciously itself. When you're committing a mistake, you'll be reprimanded right then and there. Okay, you have to stop and change your course, because this is only going to create a devastation. So that is why you have to be aware about the critical reasoning common errors. Errors like wherein, where somebody asks you about the examiner has asked you about an assumption, but you are confusing your assumption with a conclusion or a fact. That's a very common error students make. Students don't even understand what the options are all about. They can't read the language. They can't decipher the vocabulary, right? So for that, you need to have a lot of strengthy tools with you, right? With which you will be able to work on this better. Apart from that, you need to practice solving passages. Okay. Now, how do you practice critical reasoning? In the last 60 days, when you're specifically working on the logical reasoning aspect, obviously everywhere you're practicing passages only. But for logical reasoning, what you need to do is you don't need to rely on the questions. A lot of students, they'll purchase books and they'll sit down and they'll read and they'll practice a lot of questions alone. You need not rely on that. Obviously, that is one aspect. But otherwise, if I'm telling you that you need to go for newspaper reading, what you can do is when you read an excerpt from a newspaper, you simply derive your conclusion from that what the author is trying to say. What are the assumptions which the author might have made? What are the inferences which you can draw? What is the major argument being put across? How can I strengthen the argument? How can I weaken the argument? By giving what fact? Okay. These 5-6 things if you do with each passage, gradually you will be able to grab things better. Okay. So you'll get a feel of it, you'll get the hold of it. So do that with each passage. Don't wait for the questions. You need not have a set of questions because this is where CLAT usually asks you questions from. So practice that regularly with all passages, no matter whether it is asked or not. Practice vocabulary to improve reading. Vocabulary is not only helpful in your English section, but is also helpful in critical reasoning or anywhere else, because if you are not able to comprehend the passage in the first place, if you don't understand the words which are used, then it is absolutely a paralyzing situation. So be careful about that. Focus on data interpretation as far as quant is concerned. So it's not only basic techniques or it's not only topic wise, because they'll never ask you a direct question from time and work now. Based on the pattern now, they will never ask you a direct question on time, speed and distance. They will never ask you a direct question on, let's say, ratio proportion or mixer alligation or mensuration, right? A direct question may not be put across. They will always put it to you in form of data. And data these days holds a lot of importance, right? So you need to be focused on that. You need to be data oriented, and that is why practicing data interpretation is very important, wherein in the form of a table or in the form of a graph, in the form of a pie chart, some data is given to you, and based on that data, questions in quant will be asked to you, quantitative aptitudes. And the major important topics, profit loss, percentages, averages, ratio proportions. So you need to be thoroughly well versed in these topics so that you can definitely cover them and secure the best possible marks. Now I've already told you 9 points. Can you guess what the 10 point can be? I'm telling you this is the 10-point plan. What can be the most probable 10th point? It's already visible in front of you. The 10th point is nothing but practice, practice and practice. So practice is the ticket to your success. And my mentors used to tell me at my time that, when I was preparing for competitive examinations, that practice is the key to success, is the ticket to success, of course. They used to tell me that exams are always cracked through revision only. It does not depend upon how many concepts or how many books you have studied from, okay? It finally is all dependent upon revision, because everybody knows what books are available in the market. Everybody knows what are the best books to study. What is the best channel to study? Everything is known by everybody, right? Everybody has their own resources and the resources are more or less comparable. Then what makes a student stand out is practice. The more you practice, the better you will get. Okay. So remember that practice is the key. Practice as much as you can. Don't be disheartened. Keep going at it, and gradually you will reach that point where you will realize that, okay, now I have mastered this altogether. Okay. Now we look at just a brief timetable. I have done this for you, but you need not stick to it completely. You need not adhere to it completely. You can customize this on your own needs. Okay. But this is just a brief wherein this is for your self-study. Apart from that, we are there on the YouTube. We are bringing good sessions for you. We'll be bringing series for you wherein you can connect with us and understand. I'll be bringing critical reasoning and quant techniques for you. There are other faculties who will be bringing legal reasoning, legal awareness, English, current affairs, GK. So everything will be taken care of here. But apart from that, you need to put in your own hours as well. So this is a brief about this. Once you are back from school, because in weekdays, obviously, you will be having your schools, right? The examinations are still far away for you, the normal school examinations. So if you're having schools on the alternate weekdays, what you can do is, let's say you start on Monday. So on Tuesday, you follow this. Wednesday, you come back here. Thursday, you follow this. Friday, you come back here. Now, next Monday, you follow this. Then Tuesday, you come here. Wednesday, you go there. Thursday, you come here. Friday, you come there. Next Monday, you follow this. So that's what alternate weekdays is all about. Okay. What you can do is at 3:30 to 4, half an hour, You practice calculation, or you practice vocabulary, or you practice reading for half an hour. As soon as you are done, you reach home, you're done with your lunch, you sit down and start with either calculation practice, vocabulary, or reading. You have to give that dedicated time to these things. Okay, you can't be like, ye saath saath kar lenge. That is not possible. Now from 4 to 6 for 2 hours straight, you will study English on alternate days and Quant on alternate days, right? So let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday you're studying English, Tuesday, Thursday you're studying Quant. Next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday you're doing Quant, Tuesday, Thursday you're doing English, something of that sort. Okay, from 6 to 6:30 again a half an hour break. Sufficient breaks are absolutely important. We don't want you to burn out, okay, because then that will cause a lot of demotivation. So breaks are important. You can do your regular stuff. You can be in touch with your mobile phones, your social media in this zone. Avoid the distractions and deviations in the white zone. Only keep the deviations for the yellow zone. When you are in a break zone, you can do anything and everything you want. Otherwise, you need to focus on your studies. And in the break zone, I would encourage you that you should keep asking questions to yourself randomly. If you're supposedly walking down a road, you suddenly ask yourself that, okay, what is the law of torts? And then you suddenly remember, and then you should know. Okay, what was this section for? General, I mean not in detail. Generally, okay, critical reasoning, what assumption this might have made, or in quantitative aptitude, what is this, or vocabulary, what does this word mean? I can learn something new. Okay, so that is what you can parallelly do, but that is not very, that's not compulsory. You can gradually build that habit. 6:30 to 8:30, again 2 hours straight. Legal reasoning, logical reasoning, alternate days. Okay. Then again you take a 1 hour break here. Obviously you'll be having your dinner in this time and you can relax for that 1 hour. And then after that 2 hours you'll have to push thoda sa now. That is very important. So in the last 2 hours you will be doing current affairs and GK only, because the syllabus is very vast and it holds a lot of importance in your examination. Okay. So in the last 2 hours you'll be doing this. Then you can go to sleep and wake up at your time, go to school, do whatever you do on normal weekdays. Now on weekends you need to have a special plan. Okay. Now this is a plan which I have chalked in. Again, I'm telling you repeatedly, you can customize this. This is just for reference. And obviously you will be adding in a lot of stuff here because you need to do your school work as well. So that can be balanced, nothing to worry about. Now here on weekends, what you can do is you wake up at 6 to 8 for 2 hours, you relax, you take your breakfast, you connect with nature, sit with your family, spend some time and read your newspaper in that time. Okay. So in every day I've given you half an hour, you can read your newspapers then. If you are using your mobile phones, I would recommend applications of, newspapers which can be downloaded and that can help you for regular reading. But for detailed, sit down and have a physical newspaper with you, which always helps. Okay. Then from 8 to 9, 1 hour you can do calculation practice and vocab. Depends, you can change this as well. From 9 to 11, 2 hours straight, you will be attempting a previous year paper or a mock test. First mock test of the day. So from Monday to Friday, you are studying. Okay, you are revising. You are doing questions, you are practicing a lot. For Saturday, Sunday, you are only focusing on mocks because that is your simultaneous practice. Once you are done with this mock, take a break of half an hour. Okay, indulge in social media as much as you want here. Then for 2 hours straight, you attempt another mock. So mock, break, mock. 2 hours, break, 2 hours. This will also build a habit of you sitting down for long hours to write mocks, because you should not get tired in the matter of 2 hours. And gradually it will set up a timetable in your head, a timer in your head. You will understand that this is the amount of time I am actually taking to clear logical reasoning each time in a mock, average time. So this is the amount of time I should take in my final examination as well. That is what it will build a circadian rhythm inside you. Okay, then you take another break for half an hour here, or an hour, sorry. Here you will be having your lunch. So you will take another hour here. And then for 1 hour from 2:30 to 3:30, you will be doing the analysis of these two mocks, detailed analysis that what all went wrong and what all you could do better. That is important. So give 1 hour for that. Then again you write another mock for 2 hours, mock 3 of the day. Then you take a half an hour break. Then in the next 2 hours, you do the analysis of the third mock and you focus on any subject which you find yourself to be weak in. In the whole week, if you have studied some subject and you're finding that this is a pain point, this is a topic, or you have identified that from these 3 mocks, I have realized that this is one of the most challenging topics for me, you can spend that time here for that. Then you take another break where you have your dinner and spend some time with your social media and your family, of course. And then at night, when you're going to sleep on the weekend, you focus on reading. So you can read anything, you can read novels, you can read fiction, non-fiction, whatever, whatever interests you. Of course, the newspaper has already been done by now, so don't go for that. but anything, magazines or articles, excerpts, right? So do that and you will be, this is just I'm again telling you, this is just like a sample for you, okay? You can definitely customize this as per your own requirement, right? And I've also heard students are too scared of the economic passages related to economics. Don't be, guys. That is just given to you to confuse you, to trap you in terms of numbers. Don't be scared about that. You just focus on what the author is trying to convey. If the numbers are like I'm using 90% of something, so it's pretty high. If I'm saying it's 20-25%, then it's pretty low. So that is the comparison which you need to draw. Apart from that, you don't need to delve into actual economics for that, okay? So with that, we'll end the session here today, guys. I hope this was some valuable and useful information for you. I just have to add here, you can definitely look at these important aspects, important features of our application. So definitely download the ADDA 24/7 application if you have not till now, because in the last 2 months, in this last leg of your preparation, this can actually prove golden to you. So take my words and definitely download that. You can already look at all the premium features available here, right? Apart from that, you can join the Telegram channel wherein we'll be uploading regular PDFs for you to go through all the notes, everything at it's a one-stop solution, everything at one place. So you need not worry about anything else. And if you are interested for admissions in paid batches, etc., then you can definitely call this number and they'll connect you to a representative who can guide you further in the complete journey of CLAT preparation. So with that, we'll end the session here today. Thank you so much for joining live, guys. And this is my discount code. So what you can do is, if you're going to purchase a course, a paid course with us, you can put in this discount code MRLive, that is my code. And with that, you will get the maximum discount which is available. And this is the same number which we were talking about. So in case you have any admission queries, you can call this number. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I hope this was valuable information to you. If it was, you definitely hit that like button aggressively. Just, you should feel the heat on the screen. And definitely share the link of this video across all the platforms where you are a part of, where there are other CLAT aspirants who would like to be associated with the content which we are bringing and amp up, their CLAT preparation. And also, guys, do subscribe to the channel, because you can see we need a lot of love from you here. We have started this journey specifically keeping you in mind, that, we need to segregate and give you a separate, complete, dedicated, preparation for CLAT. So that is why we need your love and support, so that we can definitely make this work wonders together. Thank you so much, guys. My name is Marut Sharma. I am your Quantitative, Aptitude and Logical Reasoning faculty. I'll be seeing you in the sessions here, henceforth. Bye-bye. Take care. Namaskar. Jai Hind. Have a good evening.